So first we're gonna look at your OPGG. Um,
You might want to refresh it. Well, I think it's from yesterday. I have one new game.
okay, my bad.
I don't know if it actually matters.
Okay. So we'll see your most played champion is Brand with 66. Two support champions, both are sub 50% win rate. This has a high KDA, this is a low KDA. And Brand should probably also have a high KDA. I'm not going to talk too much about this, but you should probably have a higher than 50% win rate on your most played champions. Your Syndra, I'm assuming is all mid, has a 50% basically with the low KDA, which means you could be inconsistent, or maybe not extending leads, because Syndra is like lane dominant, so you should be able to control games with that. It's hard to say, without seeing the games, but I'm just talking general comments here. You should probably like not play Meltar anymore because he got nerfed out of support role, and I don't know if that's mid or not.
Yeah, the only mid laners I play so far is probably just Syndra and Annie is probably like my only champions.
Okay. So it does look like you have more success on Annie for right now, but the sample size is way different. So it's basically 60 versus 20 games.
Yeah. On my other account, Bronze Laifu, it's like the game that I played up to Silver 1.
Okay.
I don't know if you don't need to like really look at it. I just use this account specifically to try to learn Syndra.
Okay. Cool. So this is you learning mid lane on this account.
Basically, yes.
Okay. That's awesome. Glad that you did it on a Smurf, or what you would now look at as a Smurf. Because I'm assuming this was your main account.
Well, the other one's higher elo, but like
right.
I'm basically taking this one on purpose to learn a new role and champion and.
Okay, so let's look at that account. What did you say it was called?
Bronze Laifu. I can probably spell it out. I don't know if.
I'm assuming it's like that, so we'll see. Yeah. Okay. So on this one.
You might want to put it ranked solo.
Oh yeah. I was gonna look at both.
Oh, okay.
So again, you have a high winner on Annie, so you clearly know what to do on Annie, which means that it could be a skill factor, as in like mechanical. It could also just be champion knowledge on the champion because you've played Annie more than Syndra has.
Yep.
So it could be either, but if you know what to do on Annie, it kind of leads me to these two things. Like those are like basically the implications that I have.
Yeah, like there's very specific matchups on Annie where I know how to play the matchup very specifically, and then on Syndra, she's a lot more skill shot reliant, and requires like pretty good spacing in comparison to Annie, where Annie, even though she's short range, you basically just need to like go in. Once you commit to something, you're all in, right? So.
Right. Okay. So we look at some of these games. I see you're taking cleanse, which is awesome. Glad to see it. That's great. You're taking teleport, ignite. You're switching your keystones. Things look pretty good on that aspect. Look at your CS. It's 5, 6.5, 5.5. It's pretty low overall. It looks like you're sitting around the 5 and 6 mark. So you're definitely gonna need practice CSing because this is pretty low. Like your highest one that I see in your last, I don't even know how many games this is, 10, 15 games, is 6.5. So that's like overall pretty low. Okay. If we look on this account, I'm assuming I'm going to see the same thing. 7 on Ori. But yeah, overall you're sitting around the 5-ish per minute mark if you like average all these. So CS is definitely going to be a big factor.
What would be like the ideal target goal?
I aim for 7 to 8.
Okay.
Now, obviously, as the games extend, it gets a little harder to catch that. Or as you climb an elo, it's probably easier to get it. But literally, you don't even have 1.7, so that's why it's like a big issue because like you have like a 6.9. Whereas like if we go to, even if we just look at the games I played today, I'm sure I have, so 6, 8, or 7, 8, 8. 5, 6, 7. You see how mine are just way more consistently in that 7 to 8
Yeah.
zone?
Like
Okay.
there are gonna be like a few fives or whatever, but then maybe it's just like
Yeah.
but more sevens and eights than others.
Exactly.
Okay.
Cool. And then it looks like if I go back to this account, your KDAs on like some champions are good, but they're like not that good on others. So that could be like respect on certain champions. I'm not really sure what that could lead to. Maybe you're just better at those champions at living, but try to live more on your other champions.
Okay.
Cool. So that's just some basics from OPGG. Again, let me look at items really quick. You're switching. You're building void staff every game. Fine. Switching build still. Awesome. Okay, cool. So no big build issues.
Okay.
And if we look at the team comps, we have Fiora versus Jax, who I would put this as a skill matchup, but I don't know that matchup, so don't quote me on that. Mid lane, it's not. Vlad doesn't really counter Syndra. He just neutralizes Syndra, so I would still put this as a skill matchup. And then you should have Ignite. You should not have Barrier. You need either Ignite or you need Ghost, but Ignite takes priority.
Question. When would I want to select Ghost on Syndra? Because I kind of like once they nerf Syndra, not nerfed. Once they nerfed Ghost, I kind of only use it specifically on Annie when I need to engage. But when I play like other champions, when would you want to go for Ghost, considering with the changes that they did?
So I would go Ghost, potentially against a Control Mage. I would probably still bring Ignite against a Control Mage.
Okay.
Yeah. So like Orianna, you could take Ghost against Orianna. Or you could take Ignite and be a man. I don't know. To me, just like Ghost right now, it's like I don't want to snowball the matchup. And I want to snowball matchups, so that's why I bring Ignite.
Yeah.
But like if you're against like 3 tanks, like if you're against like
it requires you to have more positioning.
Like Scion, Zac, and Tarek. Okay, Ghost is pretty good now, you know? Like it's you can skirt around stuff, but honestly, like I really wouldn't even take Ghost for the most part.
Okay.
Like really, you use Ghost to like make really good roams with like the movement speed as you like ramp up bottom.
Yep.
And to skirt around team fights in the late game, but in lower elos, like honestly, like I don't think Ghost is that great. Like Unsatisfied just said. Basically. Yeah, I would just snowball my lane harder with Ignite. Like I even take Ignite for like for the most part because like I want lane pressure. Like I don't want to sit around as they bring Ignite and I bring Ghost. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
We look at the rest of the team comps. Draven, do you know who the sports? Actually, I can just play it out. Okay, so you have a Malphite support. Their bot lane should have priority over your bot lane, and your jungler has priority. So if we put it again, this can be skill, this can be skill. Their bot lane will have priority, your jungler will have priority. What does this mean? This means that you can really look to snowball your bottom lane because of the champions, not because of their bottom lane being ahead. Because Malphite and Misfortune is a guaranteed wombo combo against Squishy and Squishy.
Yeah.
You could also influence top lane. It's just less guaranteed because it's going to be more skirmishing. Okay. And then you should really look with your jungler to roam because your jungler has a lot of priority over their jungler. And then in mid lane, you should have push priority. You just can never kill Vlad.
Gotcha. Okay.
Cool. And then scaling, I think scaling's roughly equivalent, but I think they have a slight advantage.
Okay.
So look, you started Doran's, cool. You should really arrange your scoreboard. Looks like nothing sketchy goes on. You play with your map on your left. That's so tilting.
Sorry. I came from like Dota 2. That's why.
Yeah, I read chat. I try not to respond too much while I'm doing a coaching session because I upload directly to YouTube. So I prefer to actually be coaching the person. So if you have something like a question, just DM it to me on Discord and I'll happily answer it, or on Twitch, either way. Okay. So in this lane, you're pretty much playing your mana bar. If you run yourself then you lose the lane. Okay, so here's a big issue. Right here, I think this illustrates that exact thing that you said about trading versus CSing. So let me write this down. You said trading and CSing.
Yeah.
And then you said warding for the most part, or like output vision. And then autopilot.
Yeah.
So these were the three things that we kind of highlighting before this game. Autopilot. Because if you look at these minions will always be queuable level 1. Like always, because they're going to die at the same rate. Or, you know, you can see this one. If you auto this and then it'll all be the same rate, and you queue this, you get all 3.
Yeah.
And with Doran's Ring, this is 15 mana. And your Q costs 40 mana. So you're getting all 3 for 25 mana.
Okay.
And again, you're playing your mana bar. So that is
which is correct. Like I should be shoving, like I should be pushing as hard. But then as long as I
you can
get the CS.
You want to push priority. You don't want to shove.
Wait, sorry?
You want push priority. You do not want to shove.
Okay.
Because Syndra's mana costs, like, they're low, but if you spam your abilities, it's really high. Like her Q, like, yeah, 40 mana is a low cost, but it's also a low cooldown. So if you keep using this, it's like you're gonna run out really fast. And then W is, I believe, 60, and E is 80. It's something around these numbers. And like the W, it's like really mana intensive. Like it may not seem like it, but you only have 400 mana level 1. So using. Oh, go ahead.
So I should not try to shove the wave in level 1.
You want priority. You do not want to shove. So like, you want these 3 dead before yours are dead.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Gotcha. I just didn't know like the difference what you mean, but I know now. I know what you mean. Like you.
Okay, yeah.
As long as I get the experience more than that guy, basically.
Yes,
right?
Exactly. So you want to have more minions killed than he does, but you don't want the wave to be here.
Okay. I see what you're saying. Oh, okay, gotcha. So because that way he can just like farm safely versus.
Yeah, exactly. So he farms safely, and you are going to be out of mana. He has no mana cost.
Yeah.
He has a health cost, but he's Vladimir, so he doesn't have a health cost because he sustains it all. And if you're pushing minions, you're not hitting him, and if you're not hitting him, he has no spell cost because he's just going to sustain it up. So this is how you play the matchup. And yeah, so like in this case, you should auto this minion and get these 3 free CS. Like there's no reason to not get these CS because they're free CS. I always say, missing CS is okay. Missing free CS is not okay. And this is just like 3 free ones that you just like miss because you go for like a Q. And if you look at it, you literally do 60 damage to him. Does that 60 damage matter?
Yeah, probably not.
Probably not.
In comparison to losing.
In comparison to getting 60 gold. Yeah, like this is so much better.
Yeah.
In this case, especially because you don't have ignite. Like, okay, I couldn't justify it even if you had ignite, but I could at least like maybe justify. Like, no, like, I couldn't justify it.
I have
but
kill pressure or something.
I can't justify missing 3 CS, so I'm not even gonna try. But yeah,
okay.
Definitely get the CS because it's super important. So we'll see what else you do. But pretty much, trading versus CS is that CS is probably almost always going to be more important because you can trade at times where you're not going to miss CS. Okay, so 2 things here. Your camera is in an awful spot, and I forgot to mention earlier that you should turn on spell costs in the indicator in the HUD.
spellcasting indicator?
Mana costs. So like right here, it'll tell you how much mana your Q costs.
Oh, you can have that? What the
Yeah.
fuck?
It's
Okay.
in like it's like escape, and then it's interface, I think.
And then you can turn on mana costs on.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you should just turn that on because it just helps you. Like there's literally no reason to not have that on.
Yeah, then you can kind of have an understanding like, okay, I have 150
Yeah.
mana
How much
for
can I do?
combos and stuff. Okay.
Instead of memorizing it, you can take a quick glance. I mean, I
Okay,
know most of my costs anyway, or like generally, but like, yeah, it's really helpful. And then the second thing is, well, I guess the third thing. The second thing is, don't trade over CS because you can CS at different times, and you can trade at different times. And then the third thing is your camera management right here is really bad. What are you looking at right now? The answer is nothing.
Nothing.
You see all this empty space?
Yeah.
It's fine if you have some of this, like just not that entire circle, because you can't see Vlad, and it's really important right now because his Q is charging actually. But that's important information, so you should be wanting to get this information.
So should I? So.
Go ahead.
Should I try? I'm not saying should I try playing with lock screen, but like, should I try to play in lock screen in certain cases or something?
I mean, the reason that I play in lock screen is because I move it off when I need more information. That's why I personally play lock screen for a majority of the time, because if I need more information, I'm going to move my camera. But like, the way that you just manage this camera is pretty poor, so I just wanted to point it out, like for something to fix. And then, yeah, you should probably also have your HUD like smaller.
HUD smaller?
I don't think that's bigger, and you can make your map bigger. So what I do is I have my map on 100 and I have my HUD on 1. And then, because I don't need to see my HUD, really. I just need to see my map. Just a small thing you might want to consider. And then Net says you can also press space to fix your camera problem a little bit.
Okay. Like hold it, you mean? So it's kind of like lock screen, but not really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. So if you play it out. The only reason I brought it up was because it stayed like this for like an extended period of time. If that wasn't like that for like, 3-ish seconds, I wouldn't have said that. Okay, so you can use your abilities as CS. Okay. So I want to rewind this. If we look at these two minions. See those two?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you can auto this and queue it so they land at the same time, and you get both these minions.
Yeah.
You don't have to manage it that way, but that's one way to manage it. But you miss one of these CS, so you need to manage it better. That's the way I would have managed it. I don't know if that's the optimal way, but that's the way I would have done it. Or you could have been autoing this one, but like you have to be watching your minions as well as their minions. You need to watch both, because if you watch your minions, do you know what it tells you?
Well, it gives me like trading opportunities, I guess. Like if I have full health minions and he has less health minions and he wants to CS, it gives me a chance to trade in between CS. Is that the correct answer?
That's part of it. But look, you see this minion?
Yeah.
You know he's going to be right here to CS his minion.
Yeah.
Like he's going to go for it. So what does that mean?
So I should step up.
So that means if you're here, you can queue right here.
Yes.
Maybe not, if your minions are like this, so you have to keep this in mind as well. Okay, well, maybe I can't do that now because I need to collect my minions. But let's say these two die, and now he's going to go after this minion. He's still going to be around this area, so you can step up and defend it. You can use your minions as a trading point. That way you know when to trade, because they will be stationary for at least some period of time while they're animation locked into going after the CS. Yep. Which means your skill shot is easier to hit. So that's like the biggest thing, honestly, to learn on Syndra if you're a low elo player, is like if you watch your CS and you cue them when they're going for your CS, I guarantee you'll hit like 60% more of your Qs. Because the enemy players, they're gonna be greedy for the CS.
Yeah. Say that one more time.
Okay.
So like you're basically saying like when they are trying to go for CS, they are animation locked, so it's easier to land a Q on them.
Yes.
Okay.
Because you can't auto and move at the same time.
Yeah.
Right.
Unless
So
you're Syndra. Or wait, not auto.
no, you can't auto and
Nah.
move.
No. All right.
Right. So like that applies to literally any champion.
Yeah.
But Syndra especially because of how punishing Syndra is in lane, so you can actually punish those things like really, really effectively, and that's why Syndra is so good. Like, if you take away Syndra's ability to spam harass on minions, Syndra loses like so much of her power. But that is like honestly one of the reasons that she's so ridiculously strong is because this minion is low. Okay, I'm right here. You are going to eat a Q for it.
Yeah.
And now in this matchup, actually, that's not the right thing to do. Most likely, the actual way to do this matchup is you want to force Vlad to be afraid of your Q. So that is positioning more aggro here, so that you're zoning with a potential Q, not that you're actually queuing, because you don't want to spend your mana bar. That's the way to play this matchup. Is you want to deny him creep access, because by denying him creeps, you deny him gold, potential experience, and you deny him healing. And that's how he wins matchups, is by healing.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I wanted to... So the reason why I'm trying to teach you Syndra and not the matchup is because you're only going to play against so many Vlads, you're going to play Syndra a lot more.
No. I think you're agree. Like whenever I play against a champion with some form of healing or sustain in lane, let's say for example like Vladimir swing, like when I play against something like those champions, I feel like I'm pressured that I have to destroy them early in some way because I feel like I'm not going to be able to do anything to those champions after they get to like their desired items.
Well, the fact of the matter is you're not going to kill Vlad early, especially without ignite. You're not going to do it. I think it's actually impossible if the Vlad has like 20 IQ cells. Like how do you kill Vlad? Like can you honestly answer that question to me with when you don't have ignite or Morellos?
Yeah, that's true.
You can't burst him early because you can't burst somebody early, and
so you basically go for like small trades or like small advantages.
Well, the small advantage you create are by zoning him with your body. So if you're up here, Vlad's not up here anymore. He's like back here.
Gotcha.
And then see, now he misses the CS. You're trying to body zone instead of like creep zone.
Okay.
And then so what else can you learn from your minions? You know how much damage your minions do to their minions. Right? So if you have 3 minions versus 12 minions, it's very different.
Yeah,
the amount of damage you do to their minions. So your last hitting will be different.
Like the timings, I guess you want to call it.
Yeah. So if you look here, you see you have 4 casters.
Yeah.
Or sorry, you have 5 casters. That's a lot of DPS. Right. So that means you need to be ready that okay, this minion's health is going to drop fast because you missed that next CS because of how many minions you have.
Yeah.
So always be watching your minions as well as their minions because it's super important. What the enemy minions means, well, again, it shows trading points because that's when they're going to want to trade you. Experience. Here's also shows experience. A ton of small things that just add up really fast. Cool, I think that's enough on that point. And again, I'm focusing a lot on minions because this solves 2 of these issues. This solves 2 issues. Because if you're actively thinking, okay, here's this minion, how do I get it? Here's this minion, how do I get them? They're both low. I need them both. How do I get them? You can't autopilot that.
Yeah.
You actively have to think about it. But if you're just like, not paying attention to CSing, you miss both of these.
Yeah.
And then also, knowing when to trade, so how and when to trade,
Yeah.
You cannot autopilot this effectively. It is actually impossible to do this correctly while not paying attention.
When not paying attention.
Right.
Gotcha.
Correctly is the answer. You will do it
Correct.
incorrectly, and you will lose because you're doing it incorrectly.
Okay.
Actually, whenever I notice I'm autopiloting my trading, I actually stop playing ranked. Because I say, I'm autopiloting. I'm not going to take advantage of my champion. Like, why play Syndra if you're not going to queue them on this minion? In most matchups, again, not against Vlad.
Yeah.
The answer is you shouldn't be. Why not play Talia and push and roam? Why not play Lux and scale? Right? If you're not taking advantage of your champion, there's no reason to play that champion.
Gotcha.
Do you get that point?
Yeah, like, well, even like when I even play like other champions, like Lux, for example, like I almost play like the same way as I would with Syndra. Like I play really aggressively, and I feel like I just die all the time because but it's probably because like I shove, kind of like what I do with Syndra, and then like a jungler comes, and then I die, and then it's like, all right, shit, I shouldn't have fucking did that or something.
Well, to be clear, shoving is not the issue.
Okay. All right.
Just for clarity.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
Cool.
when I was thinking about like the priority, I always thought like it was to shove or to push the lane so I have the first time to ward. And in this particular game, I don't even do any of that. But
Well, so that is
like,
part of it. Having ward priority is great, but you don't have to be in their turret to have ward priority.
Okay.
So, like, let's say that you kill these two minions properly.
Okay.
This minion is going to take a good 5 seconds before it's
that
left.
one's gonna take a while, so it gives me time to.
So you can literally just walk right over here, drop a ward, not even in pixel brush, just out here.
Yeah.
And then you should be able to be in time for this last hit. And if you're not in time, you're going to catch the experience.
Gotcha.
But you see, if he has push priority, so if he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 minions, and you have 6 minions, you can't do that anymore because he can threaten a shove, and then you're going to miss some of them, or you'll miss at least one to the tower, depending on how far you go to ward, obviously.
Okay.
Or
gotcha.
let's say you go up here, and then he hard shoves. He's literally going to stand right here, and you miss every single creep.
Yeah, that's true.
So you can go get wards without having your push completely. Not to say that it's the best time to. It might be the best time to. That's entirely situational. But yeah, just to kind of clear that off out of your head.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yep. Okay. It's not that he shouldn't be playing aggressive. It's that he is doing it properly and abusing the perks of champion. Exactly. Okay. And again, see, there's that camera thing where it's for multiple seconds. You're missing information.
From behind, you mean? Or
Yeah, because the way you positioned your camera.
because someone go behind me, or
Yeah, I mean, somebody could be behind you, but like you don't need that other information. But you're missing information on Vlad because you're not positioning it properly. Okay, so you're missing a ton of free CS. And then, do you know what Vlad's trading points are?
I have absolutely zero. Like
Okay.
all I know is that when his little like thing turns red, he does like crazy damage.
So you see how his bar is like 75% full?
The energy bar or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how this works, pretty much, after he uses one Q, he fills up halfway. And then once it gets here, this is based off of his second Q. So if he Qs again, on his next Q up time, so at level 1 it's like 9 seconds. Then it'll be red. So that means like you need to be prepared that he's going to run at you because he's going to run at you. So even though you have pressure in the matchup, you can't pressure it because he has pressure in that split second of the lane.
Yeah, I think Kuro said something like yesterday. It's kind of like Annie. stun in a way.
Yeah,
Where
exactly.
it's like during that time period, that champion has extra power for that time.
Exactly.
Does that make? Okay.
Yep. He has extra power, so you don't necessarily win it at that moment. So you need to concede pressure. Because look, what happens if you take 2 steps back?
Nothing.
Nothing. This minion doesn't die, and if it does, you still get experience. This minion doesn't die, and if it does, you still get experience. This minion has a 0% chance of dying, so you can get back an experience range for this one. Literally, you lose nothing by taking 2 steps back here. By not taking 2 steps back here, what do you lose? Well, 20% of your health. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's just knowing the matchup, but it's pretty important. So you lose literally 20 to 30% of your health bar.
Yeah.
And at this point, your wave's in an awful, awful position.
Yeah, it's basically like gank me.
Yeah.
Because has a basically freezing.
Okay. So there's a ton of really important small things that you don't do during this. So let's look at it. And I'll go through everyone. Okay. So at this point, you have your E. You need to Q this and walk away. Not this way.
Yes.
Do you know why not that way?
Wait. Sorry. Say that one more time.
Okay, so you need to drop your Q, and you need to walk here. Do you know why?
I don't. I want to say yeah, but I don't actually.
Okay, so you need to get this experience.
Yeah, I get the experience.
Okay, so if you drop your Q, these minions will get the last hit. You will get the experience. You don't get the gold, but you'll get the experience. You need this wave to reset here. If you look at the minions are at the turret. This minion should die by that time. And this should bounce.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And the only way you know this is if you're paying attention. But if I'm in this wave position, I'm paying attention to this because it's so critical that you get this in. For a few reasons. Because let's say Vlad doesn't all-in you here. You get frozen, you get denied so hard because their jungler is going to be around. 2 things happen on the map. Your top laner's dead, and their jungler, like, 100% of the time starts bottom here. Either Raptors or Red. So that means they're on the top side. It is 3 minutes. Your top laner's dead. You are a prime gank target. That's why you don't walk in river. And yes, I'm thinking all of this, by the way. Like, I'm not doing this in hindsight. Like, this is literally something I'm thinking.
Gotcha.
And then after, we'll see a few issues. If you're getting all-in like this, okay? You know you're getting all-in because look at his positioning. You're getting all-in. You need it to drink a health potion. Because a health potion, if the fight extends, is up to 150 health.
Yeah.
This is a ruby crystal. Right? That's a lot.
Yeah.
So don't discredit this. This is a lot. So make sure that you always pop health potion if you're trading and you're low. And you are low. You're 50-60% health.
He has a health advantage, and I didn't even use any of my health pots since start of the lane.
So then we'll see what happens. Is you step back. Okay, so now at this point you really need to get out by clearing this wave. Because if this wave is in the spot, it's such an awful position. Because let's say he knows nothing about freezing, you're still in a perfect gank spot for their jungler that is going to be topside if you look at the map. Because of how the 3-minute works.
Yeah.
So you see how that's an issue? Because you're 40% health, he's 100% health. You have no ward on top side. And you're positioned on the top side of the lane. So this situation is like 500 times better if you're in this exact same scenario on this side of the lane. Because their jungler is not going to be on the bottom side of the map. They're going to be on the top side of the map. So this is lane positioning, where you need not be here, you need to be over here.
Gotcha.
And how do I know where you should be in lane? Thinking. And that's like a really like bad answer.
Yeah.
But it is the best answer that I can give to literally any one of your problems.
Is it
thinking.
just like, okay, this is like more of a low elo game. Most junglers will start this time like on this spot, so they will be at
no
this spot
jungler
instead.
starts anywhere but Raptors or red buff. Like
Gotcha.
Hecarim starts blue buff, but like that's not even 100% of the time. I'm trying to think of it like okay, if they have Fiddlesticks, okay. So pretty much like what I mean by that is like this, the jungler will be topside at 3 minutes in like 90% of the time when you're on purple side.
Okay.
Because when you're on purple side and red and blue side jungling is way different. Because if you're actually, I don't want to get into this too much because I can talk about this for about an hour, but
yeah, no worries.
If you look at Raptors or blue buff, or sorry, Raptors or bottom buff, these are your options as a jungler right now, like viably.
Yep.
Okay, so look at the difference on the map. Okay, bottom buff is red buff and Raptors is down here. On this side, it's blue buff and Raptors. They're on opposite sides of the map. You want red buff first, and you want to start bottom side of the map because your bottom lane will leash you.
Yep.
Okay, so that means if they're on top side, then the jungler could start in two places. So the jungler isn't necessarily going to be on red side. Or sorry, on top side. But on the blue side, the jungler will basically always be on top side or invading your blue at 3 minutes. But you have a Lee Sin versus a Volibear, so he shouldn't be invading.
Yeah.
And if he is invading, then you got cheesed, and you shouldn't feel bad about the mistake. Because in the most part, standing on this side is better.
Okay.
Cool.
No, thank you for telling me that, because
No,
like,
you're welcome.
I always feel like, you know, a lot of people do say like, you know, track the enemy jungler. You need to know how to track it. It's a good starting point. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, we can talk about that for a second. Jungle tracking is super, super, super important. So, thank you for the follow. The jungle tracking is basically at 3 minutes, a fast jungler will have cleared like 3 camps. More or less, obviously, depending on jungle speed. So, like, Kha'Zix clears slightly faster. Lee Sin clears faster. Volibear, he clears slower. You get the point.
Yeah.
3:30... Or, sorry, this is 2 to 3 camps. This is, like, 3 to 4 camps. Again, depending on jungle speed. And then, like, 4 minutes is, like, 4 camps and gank. 4/gank. Or rather, 4/3 plus gank. Does that make sense?
3+ gank?
Yeah. So they'll have cleared 3 camps and ganked.
Oh, okay.
This is like again a general rule.
Yeah.
But like it's pretty good for the most part. And then after this, once you see them on the map at any of these points, you should look at their CS. And then depending on what number they're at, you'll see what they've cleared. So they're always going to clear a buff. So it'll be 1.
Yeah. And Raptors, like, I don't know if it's like 7 or something.
It's 1, 2, 3, it's 5, 6. It's 6. So let's say they do 2 camps, and then they do blue. That's 8. So if they come out with 8, you know that they did Raptors, red, and blue, or they did like some super weird path.
Yeah, and their CS is only going to show when they're actually
on the map.
On the map in terms of like ganking or envision of some sort.
Yeah. So if this happens, what does this mean? This means that he's on top. This means he just ganked top or he just ganked mid. He's not going to gank bottom after this, after having 8 CS. So that means that his Raptors are down. That means his blue buff and red buff are down. Okay, so what's up on the map? Scuttle, Gromp, Wolves, Krugs, and then ganks. So these are all of his other options. Okay, so then you should say, okay, or I guess your jungle. That's part of it as well. So then you have to look at this. Okay, what's he going to do? Is he going to go to top scuttle? Is he going to bot scuttle? Well, bot scuttle's a no because he just ganked top or mid, so he's going to be in top scuttle side. So I mean, he'll He'll probably go here and then here. This area. So he's going to be topside for the next few minutes.
Gotcha.
That's what that means. So it's like, okay, I'm going to go ward topside now, and I'm going to play on the bottom side of my map. Or I'm going to assume he's topside, hold my ward, and then ward bottom side in a minute. See how they're two very different things? It depends on like your back times and what you're trying to do. But you can track the enemy jungler by looking at their CS and general game timings. Because like, if a jungler is not ganking by 4 minutes, they're a bad jungler. Like, right? Like, you see, like, they're going to gank or they're going to power farm. But they're power farming, you're not worrying about them.
Okay.
Okay, so does that kind of make sense to jungle tracking?
No, what you said is probably more than I need to know. So it's not saying that you overwhelmed me or anything. You did fine. I love it.
Okay, cool. And then, is there anything you think I missed there? I think that was a super basic intro into jungle tracking.
No, I think you hit the marker on.
Okay, cool.
All the key parts.
And then I will make a video on it. It's just slow progress. Everything is so slow.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
And then, oh yeah. So with jungle tracking, that adjusts your lane positioning. So okay, he's topside now. I'm gonna play around topside. I'm gonna ward this up here, and then once that expires, I'm gonna hard shove in base because I don't have a ward up, or I do have a ward up, so I'm okay to stay, and then I'm gonna ward bot side. Gotcha. Because he's going to be on bot side because his bot jungle is going to be respawning around that time. So that means he's gonna gank. He's gonna gank mid or bot, likely. I mean, obviously this all depends on like how lanes are going, so you have to look at that too. So like, oh hey, if my top laner is 0-7, he's probably not top lane. Okay, then he's probably sitting between mid and bottom. Okay, so now I'm gonna ward bot side more. So you have to take a ton of information and just say, what do I need to do with it? How do I think about it?
Which lanes are winning basically, or which lanes are being pressured, so to speak.
Right.
In comparison to where my lane is at.
And where they should be. Yeah.
And the position of the wave. Okay.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so it's all this stuff. And again, you see how like the best answer is just thinking?
Yeah.
Right? Like again, like I know people are like, that's such a bad answer. Like you're just saying thinking. But that is seriously why the pro players are so good. Because they know everything that I just told you guys, and they say, okay, what do I do with that? It's not because they're a million times more mechanically gifted. It's because they literally just know everything.
Yeah, like whenever I watch like some streamers, say PewDiePie for example, he's just like randomly doing something. He's like, I think the jungler is here. I'm not gonna do anything. Or
and
some
then,
shit like
lo
that.
and behold, the jungler is probably there.
Yeah, and it's like, how the fuck does he know that? But then it's just because he kind of sees where the jungler's been,
yeah, exactly. He looks at where the jungler's been. He looks at what time it is. He looks at how are they playing. If they break their pattern, if they've been passive the entire game, and now suddenly they're like walking beyond their minion wave, that's probably a good indicator that their bottom lane is, or that their jungler's there. Like that's like a telltale sign, right? But like, even in low elo, people don't recognize that. Or like, let's say, like it's way more easy to tell when you're aggressing on the lane. But let's say they literally never, they're Lux, okay? They've literally never cast E on you once. And now suddenly they just cast E on you. Their jungler is probably around. And it's so much easier to tell like when you're ahead or when they're like being passive. So the better players, they bait and they won't go aggressive.
They kind of
but that's a whole other story.
Intent, basically, like hiding their intentions.
Yeah, so they position slightly more aggressive, but not enough to like give it away. Anyway, long story. Let's go back to the VOD because it's only 3 minutes in.
Yeah, I know that's like another different class.
It's been 45 minutes and we're 3 minutes in the game, just so you know.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. No, but there's a lot of important stuff to say. So, okay, but then also, the third problem with this that I almost forgot. All right, at this point you just need a flash. Like, cause he has E and he has Ignite.
Yeah, I don't know. Like when on my point there, I was just playing really greedy with my summoner abilities, basically.
Also, imagine if you had Control E.
Yeah, I know.
And you didn't need to click and level up. Imagine you not having to burn your flash here.
I know.
Or you might still have to burn it, but wouldn't that be great?
I know. I didn't even skill that ability, any ability, like you know how I told you, I was like, I click my abilities, and then
Yeah, I know. That's why I said it.
even in this core like critical situation, I did not even like level that ability, and
Yeah,
I'm
so if
just
you
like,
control E here, you might not have to flash, depending on if he's good or bad. Because I'm
yeah,
assuming he could
because he would
W
have
your
to,
E,
he
but
would have to
like
W or
maybe
something.
not. Yeah, but then you don't die because he doesn't get off an auto attack or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Okay, so also just don't be greedy with your sums. Like right there, see, like he E's you, like you just need a flash. Like he has auto and ignite. Like you should be dead, or at the very least burning your barrier, which you do.
Yeah.
And also, like I said, pop your potion, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, didn't even pop that entire time. Jesus.
Okay, so let's look. Getting a second Dorans is fine. Honestly, I would get boots and a board. They're both fine. I would just do one over the other. Okay, again. So see, this is that camera thing again. So it's a consistent issue.
What is the best way to do that? Because it's easy for me, you know, for someone to say like your camera is bad. How can I do that? Like
Okay, so
I know
what I'm
I'm
thinking
not
right
trying to be
now
like
is
rude.
no, you're good. Do I need to see this?
Yeah. No, I don't.
No, you don't. So that means I'm dragging my mouse down here and I'm moving my camera. Or you could hit spacebar. Either way.
Yeah. Okay, so you're saying. Okay.
Because spacebar will move you maybe like instead of
Yeah,
seeing
a
this,
little
you'll
bit
see
more
like
down.
this. Or maybe
And then I'll be able to
even
see
more
Vlad
like
or
this.
something.
And that's better. Yeah. And you'll be able to see Vlad. But like right now you're missing so much information. And that's why I keep bringing it up, because it's a consistent issue. So just look at what you see and say, do I need to see this? If the answer is no, don't look at it.
Okay.
And you see how, again, it's just this thinking concept where it's like there's just so many small things that you need to think about that once you think about them so many times, they become a habit. Okay. So like when I'm playing, I'm not asking myself, do I need to see this? Because it's a habit. It's like, oh, I don't need this. Bye. Yep. But when you're first starting it, it's like super overwhelming to do all this kind of stuff where it's like, okay, well, I need to trade on minions. I need to fix my camera. I need to do this. Everything is so like important. But again, once you just do it and keep on doing it, it becomes a lot easier because it's habit, like I said. And
so,
go ahead.
I was gonna say, so like in terms of like correcting all of these errors, should I just like be trying to focus, like hone one at a time at the moment and slowly
so that was my next point.
Knock them down.
What I would do is I don't think you're afraid of playing games, so I would just do one at a time until you get it.
Okay.
Or mix two.
I can do that.
Like, because I think you can easily fix trade on minions and camera in the same game, or the same set of three games.
I don't need to be like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so it's not like literally like your only focus for the entire game is fix my camera.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I can do that, and then the minions, and then once I have that down, okay, let's work on jungle timings.
Yes.
And then warding with those jungle timings, so those knock two down.
Exactly. So make a list for yourself.
Sorry.
Make a list for yourself that makes sense to you. So like you said, jungle tracking.
Yeah.
Is probably logically before warding.
Yes.
Right, because
if you know where the jungler is, then you know where to ward.
Exactly.
Okay.
So like just make a logical list that makes sense to you. And I'm not gonna go here and go through every issue and say, well, this is the word you should learn things. I assume you can make a logical list. Now, if you want to make a list and send it to me, I'll happily read over it.
I have a list that I can't, because I've reviewed this replay already.
Okay.
So I just out of these very specific things, the things I kind of wanted to focus on was the things I mentioned, and then the other ones was like, using pings effectively. And then the other one was like, I don't roam enough, and I'm playing Syndra, and I'm playing in this matchup where I'm not necessarily going to kill him. So I should be roaming or something and creating like some kind of lead for somebody, right? Mm-hmm. Or would that be or am I the wrong answer?
No, I think that's right.
Okay. And then the other ones are like smaller things would be like, spacing, because like seen some of these games where I'm letting Vlad cue me.
Yep.
So like I should be spacing more, and then the other one would be that the last where I should focus on is skill shots. Even though I know that it's a very important thing on a champion like Syndra, but I have other priority like problems that I should be
Mm-hmm.
focusing first before I focus on landing an ability.
I think that's fine, but um, I would say don't hone in too much.
Okay.
Like, don't be like, I'm only gonna improve these two things in this game.
Okay.
But don't like say I want to improve everything in this one game because you're gonna be overwhelmed and you're not gonna do anything.
Yeah, like you know that book I kind of showed you.
Yeah.
Like I looked through all that, and it's like an overwhelming amount of information. All
Yeah,
at
I mean that's
once,
exactly
and
what
I'm
it
just
is.
like, I'm like, so I don't know exactly on so which one's more important and stuff. So
It's not that
okay,
any is more important. Like I said, the reason
the,
that high elo players and pro players are better than lower elo players is because they've done this a million times. So they just know them all.
yeah, they know how to like multitask. Like
Yeah.
okay, you take all the stuff that I mentioned, and then you take on like trading windows when say cooldowns are down. Like when X champion uses this cooldown, I can trade on this.
Exactly.
Something like
And
that.
like I said, it just becomes common sense. Once you do it,
Yeah.
it becomes common sense. Cool. So I'm gonna
Okay.
restart.
Okay.
And then improving CSing is practicing it. You can do that CSing thing that I told you. Do you have that?
I have been practicing
Okay.
the one CS
Yeah.
one CS per
One
minion.
auto. Yeah.
I'm still having I'm still having some difficulties. Not saying it's not doing I'm not doing it correctly or anything like that. It's just I think
Yeah. I mean, it's hard.
it is well I find it really difficult when
The
with
minions get
the
really big.
waves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the point of that whole one auto, because you have to deal with mini waves like that are like that sometimes.
You have to like calculate like damage on per minions or something.
Exactly.
Because how? Yeah.
Okay, so your skill shots could be worked on. Um,
Yeah, this
like,
game was like so bad.
like watching your CS. Okay, like see that your camera is so triggered. Like, what are you doing with your camera?
Yeah.
That was an interesting series of events there. But no, so I'm not even gonna like, I'm not gonna rewind that because we already talked about every single one of those issues. So everything I already said in the past, think about it twice now.
Yeah, because it's okay.
Yeah, I think you could actually smoothen your camera as one of the settings. Like,
Smoothing your camera.
yeah, because it's like super like rigid and like jumpy.
Oh, like when I like go from See, I didn't even see that guy.
Okay, so if we look, it's 6 minutes now. Where's our jungler?
Well, he's in the brush.
Right, but let's say you didn't just see what happened. It's 6 minutes.
Okay.
Where's our jungler?
I don't. He's missing.
Right, but where should he be?
Well, considering
Where did he start?
that. Oh, where did he start? He probably started bot side.
He probably started bottom side. He very
Yes.
likely started bottom side.
And Raven has pushed in our bot lane, so he has no need to be bot lane. So the next step would be my lane.
Yeah. So you should know that he's in your lane right now without knowing he's in your lane. Because it's 6 minutes, and when do you clear top side? 3 to 4 minutes. So that means he's probably based and walked back bottom side. Right, and again, I know I can say that in retrospect, but like, I know that.
Just like a general idea of where he could be.
So you should be assuming that he's bottom side, and you should be warding accordingly. Which means warding top side and playing top side, or warding bottom side. Either way.
Yeah, and
because
I haven't warded since we talked.
Right. Lack of information is also information. Oh yeah, thank you. Let me move my camera. lack of information is also information. Because let's say, if you look at the map, let's say we have all of this warded. What does that mean to you?
All of it warded?
We
If
have
he's not
Gromp
there, then
warded, we have Blue warded, we have Wolves warded, and we have all the crevices in between.
if he is not there, then he is on the opposite side of the map, most likely.
So that means he couldn't even get to our topside jungle because we have the entire topside, and we have control of this. So that means we know for 100% chance that he's either in base or he is on the bottom half of the map.
Yeah.
So you should know right now that his topside is down, and that we don't see him on topside. And again, if you ward topside, you would also know that he's not topside. And that means he's bottom side. So you see how even if you don't ward the side that the jungler is on, you still know where he is? Do you recognize that? Oh, did I cut out?
I think you did. Sorry.
If you ward topside, you see how you still know where the jungler is?
Yeah.
Even though you don't ward the side of the map he's on?
Yeah, exactly. Because
at this point, I would not go ward bottom side. Because I'm assuming he's bottom side. That's way too risky to do. So I'm warding top side and staying on the top side.
Gotcha.
And playing around the effective vision.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
So lack of information is also information is the point of that.
Gotcha. And I should have flashed right away rather than
Yeah, I would. I would not risk
being greedy with my. I could have turned that around too.
that. Yeah. But yeah, if you're gonna flash, just flash early. Like I know sometimes you want to hold flash, but like, you should like. I know you don't know Vladimir's timing enough to know that was about to expire.
Yeah, I can't like. I'm not like. Obviously, I'm not really like a good player, so I can't be like, all right, he doesn't have enough damage to like kill me.
Because like I would have flashed there, like 'cause I didn't know Vladimir thing was gonna go down, and I'm assuming you didn't know that either. So like that's why I said that, not because I'm saying you're a bad player. Like I didn't know that, so like
Yeah.
okay. But the second point here is, look at your health bar, look at your mana bar. You're going to get all in.
Look at his health bar.
And he has his Q up. You're going to get all in here. You should know that he's trying to all in you. So just respect that and don't play so forward.
And now I have no mana.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's a big wave.
Yeah.
So you just want to clear this wave in base. And the best way to do that there is, like right here, just Q. Or E, or expend your mana, because you're basing anyway.
Do something if I'm going to go... Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Like, that mana literally saves you, like, half a second in base.
Gotcha. And here's like another problem where I kind of wrote down where I still need to fix. I need to go into that item thing and get lost chapter because it's not on my preset.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you should know what you're gonna have before you base.
No, it's just like I know what I want to buy, but it's just like I don't know where specific. Well, like very very specific things. Like when I try to look for an item that's not in my pre-build, like parts, for example. I think just lost chapters not there.
Okay, so I think you tunnel too hard on one CS.
Yeah, I could have queued both.
Because if you queue that, you get both. Right? Like,
yeah.
I do it too sometimes where it's like, I'm so focused on getting the CS the way that I want to get it that I'm missing an optimal way. So, like, for example, on Orianna, for whatever reason, I want to get the last hit with one Q on multiple CS. When I know it's not going to work. But I try to do it anyway because I want it to be clean and nice. And, like, it just doesn't work that way. So, like, here, like, you're starting to say, I want the CS so badly, but you missed another CS for it. So just, like, again, thinking. And I'm probably going to say, like, 10 more times. But, like, see, you even missed that CS right there because you're going for the backline.
Yeah.
And in most cases, going for the backline is best there. But you have a CS about to die. So it's not the best anymore. So you have to actively look at your scenario and say, what is the best for this scenario? Even though my normal pattern is to hit the back line. Also, you've missed the back line. Like,
I know I missed
I think like 10
one.
times already where you've missed like like
Like an
okay.
optimal way to.
If your mouse is like here, you hit all 3 of these.
Yeah, I know.
Your mouse is here, you place it here. It's only hitting 2. Just hit all 3.
Yeah.
Unless you're trying to manage the wave in that way, but I'm assuming you're not going to. You're not.
No.
I'm assuming
no.
you did. Yeah.
I wasn't thinking, obviously. I'm not saying that like.
Like, see, okay. Here's another thing.
All right.
First off, casters are more important than melees. Okay, so if your enemy laner is missing, you want to get the casters first, because if you look at the lane, the casters are going to be back here, right? And this is harder to get to because they can be zoning you off by standing here. Okay, so if your enemy is not in lane, you want to get the casters first. Assuming that you're not pushing. Okay? This is a huge difference. If you're pushing... Yes, assuming you're not pushing. If you're pushing...
because it basically generates like a slow push, and it builds up more caster minions?
Kind of. If you're pushing, killing the melees first does more overall damage to the minions. Okay, so this means like if you're trying to push in base, you actually want to kill the melees first because you will push faster. And sometimes that extra 0.75 seconds that it takes can be the difference between your wave getting frozen here and bouncing off the turret. Okay, so I'm only telling you that exception because it's like a super important one. But in general, for most cases, killing the casters first is like more important. Do you see why? Because like I said, like if they're standing here, they can pressure you off of these casters.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Also, space on the minions. You can move around while last sitting. Not during the animation, like to clarify from earlier, but like in between autos, you can move around.
Yeah. Instead of being stationary.
Yeah. Okay, so you have 2 wards. I don't know when that happened, so I'm gonna look at when that happened. Okay, so you've had 2 wards for 8 minutes. That's what I thought, but...
Yeah. No, you're 100% right. I haven't...
So you haven't warded once yet, and it's 8 minutes. So I'm gonna write down the first time that you ward. Because right now, for clarity, that is approximately 1/3 of this game that you have not warded.
That's horrible. Shit, just think about it.
Right, so like when I put it into perspective like that, you see how bad it seems?
Yeah, like the game is like 30 minutes long, and then we're already at 10 minutes, and I only warded once.
No, you haven't warded yet.
Oh shit. That's even worse.
So it's level 7. Syndra has kill pressure from 7 on. Maybe not on Vladimir, but if she finds any squishy, she can one-shot them, basically. Assuming they're not actually 100% health. Okay, so right now, what is your purpose for this roam?
I want to gank.
Okay. Why do you want to gank?
Well, I shoved the wave in first off, and I feel like I feel like I think at this time I felt like I can't, like I said, like I kind of go back to the same thing where I said, you know, I feel like I can't kill this guy in front of me. He's Vladimir, so I'm gonna go and try to create a lead in a different lane.
Okay, so I'm not saying the gank is wrong.
Yeah.
But Vladimir's at 60% health. And he rushed a hunting guys. That is an awful Vladimir rush. Okay. And he's at 60% health. He is in kill zone. Like, I can't read his...
he doesn't have his W. Right?
I can't... Even if he has his W. I can't read his health bar. You just force him... You force his W out by not ulting him.
Okay, so instead of roaming, I should kind of like...
Or you ult him early, either way.
Not try to shove the wave in, but try to like... Okay, you have to fight me for CS, basically.
Well, wait. So, again, I'm not saying the roam is wrong. I was getting to the point. I didn't get to that point yet. You could zone him off, or you can roam. I'm just asking why you're ganking, because I have no idea why you're ganking, because I haven't seen bottom lane yet. You don't look at bottom lane, so you have no idea what's going on down there. You don't know if that's gankable.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Like, see, you look down now, but it's like, okay, look, it's 926 when you look down. Okay, so like once you start working topside, your gank opportunity is gone, because that's already 8 seconds. Or sorry, 10 seconds. You see how that walk top kind of messes up your gank? Because that's 10 seconds you just spent that you could have been walking bottom. Because right now, I don't know what's going on bottom. Well, I know Lee Sin's diving, but I don't know their health bars. Like, you don't have information on them. So...
Well, yeah, I think, yeah, because I came ball in and I was like, oh, Lee Sin's coming? Okay, I'm going to help him out or something. And I don't think it actually even goes that way at all.
Right, but so just the point is, do you need to see what you're seeing right now? Or rather, in there, yes. Right now, do you need to see what you're seeing? Probably not.
Oh, like to see like health bars or sorry?
The brush. Like you want to be around your champion in the brush. But like when you're pathing bottom, you probably don't need to see it. Like, again, it's actually a great roam. Like, I think this roam is perfectly fine. But the point is, you don't know if it's a fine roam.
And see Jan just
so
it's like, and I'm like, oh shit, what do I do?
So at this point, you should just walk in, right? Like, look, this is a perfect time to walk in. You see that he's going up for the CS. So if you wait too long, it's going to be called off. And then you see Janna. At that point, you just got to go, right? Like, you're standing outside the bush. You just have to go now if you're going.
Yeah.
And if you're not, you're missing 6 creeps mid because you didn't get a push at all. You just... you roamed at a bad time.
Vladimir sees me. This is what you call horrendous.
Okay.
So bad.
So you spend too much time walking back. You need to make it faster.
Absolutely nothing.
I don't think you even see Fiora. Also, you have balls of steel, dude. Holy. Or you just hold your summoner so long. Like, at this point, I'm spamming barrier. And you don't even... Look at this. Look at this pixel. Do you see how close this is to your butthole? Look at this. Look, your hitbox is like... If I draw it, your hitbox is actually like this.
That's so bad.
Okay, so if I be serious again, use your summoners, especially barrier. It's such a low cooldown. Just use it. You need to pop your health potion once a fight started.
Yeah.
The roam, I think it's a fine roam until you do nothing with it.
Yeah.
And also you need the information. But like, I think that roaming time is a perfect roaming time, provided that you fix every single issue with it. So you don't walk top lane and then walk bottom lane. You just walk straight bottom lane.
Yeah.
You look at the bottom lane, and then once Draven's going after that CS, you just go for him.
Yeah.
Because like first off, they're split, so it's like a perfect time. But whatever. And then once this fight starts, let's rewind the fight a little bit. You should be looking everywhere right now.
Yeah, honestly,
you have no cooldowns. What are you doing in this fight right now? You're doing absolutely nothing because you already used all of your cooldowns except your ultimate. So you should be looking, can I ult anybody? And if the answer is yes, you ult them. If the answer is no, you need to be spacing properly and you need to be reassessing the fight. So this is especially the time that you see, okay, my Misfortune has 10% health. They're clumped. Malphite can ult them. Okay, I'm thinking about this. I'm thinking, okay, Draven's over here, full health, but it's not doing damage. Fior's on a flank, and my Lee Sin's dead. I'm analyzing all this in like a quarter second.
You'd probably just get the fuck out because you're not winning this team fight, and you would just probably, control damage control.
Well, no. I honestly might stay, but like, look, you're pathing forward into them.
Into the Volibear.
Yeah, like you're literally walking through them. Yeah. So it's fine if you're not pathing backwards at this point. Well, honestly, I'd be pathing backwards. But like if you're sitting like here, this is fine. Like being in this area it's okay, because your Jax is teleporting, so Fiora can't go into you. Like she can go into you, but she can't just like walk directly into you.
Yeah.
Because her team's all over here. But like you can't path forward into them. And how do I know you can't path forward? Well, I'm looking at the scenario.
Gotcha.
And this is a little more hindsight bias, but what I do know is I wouldn't be walking forward into them. Like, you literally walk like into them. So would I say I would have abandoned the fight? Probably not. I don't think I can honestly say that I would have completely abandoned the fight. But can I say that I would not have pathed into them for 3 seconds? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And then for perspective, you're at 45 CS at 11 minutes. And don't type now. If you're gonna type after you're already pathing, but you just wasted like 3 seconds typing.
Yeah.
And why do you not spend your gold?
I did spend some of it, didn't I?
Yeah, but you still have 600.
Okay, yeah. Oh, I saw you could have bought like an AM tome or something.
Yeah. Also, using range indicators is fine. But you should probably take off range indicators once you're comfortable, and then have shift for your range indicators.
Shift for my range indicators?
Yeah, so like when I'm casting a spell, if I just press Q, it's going to immediately cast it.
Oh, so you're asking me to use quick cast, right? And then if I need indicators for any reason, then I use shift.
Yes, that's what I do, and I think that's what most people do. Until you're comfortable.
Can you still use like the level up? I'm still trying to like practice that into where I just like shift Q, shift W and stuff.
You should have that on control.
Control.
Yeah.
Okay. Control.
I think if you
pinky?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that if you time that, you can actually kill Vlad. So learning your ability timings compared to their timings, super important.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember like a while ago, nothing recently, but I remember in LS's stream, he says every time you don't know a champion, like say Vladimir, for example, go into like Wikipedia and it's like treat it as like a Pokédex, and then just like look at what abilities that they do, what the cooldowns that they have, so that way you have a better idea of when to do stuff and how he's supposed to have an idea about how he's supposed to trade.
Okay, so at this point, why are you pushing the wave?
I don't know.
Can you give me a good answer as to why you push this wave? Because based on the map, I cannot think of one good answer to push this wave.
Okay. Yeah, because like I don't know, like when I get to like a certain point, like say when I get Lost Chapter, I always seem to just kind of like shove 24/7. And I know that's not exactly the correct thing to do.
Yeah. So if you push a wave, what do you do when you push a wave?
You roam, you ward, you pressure our tower.
Okay, yeah, so those are the 3 options.
I'm assuming, I don't know if there's any more than that.
These are, oh, Jesus. Those are basically your 3 options.
Yeah. Like, technically speaking, like, this isn't the reason, but one of the things I could be doing is I could shove the wave in. Vladimir's 25% health, Lee Sin is on our enemy side, I can call him to dive, but that doesn't happen.
Yeah, so you're in low elo, don't assume they're going to dive. And if you are going to dive, assume you're going to die.
So don't do that.
Honest truth,
Basically,
just don't.
don't try anything that's like.
Okay, so you know how you said you could push and like play around this zone?
Yep.
Okay, well, why not just play around this zone instead?
Where you're even more safer.
Yeah, because you can deny this. You can deny this experience.
Isn't that my own experience?
Oh, sorry, that's I mean this one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I knew what you meant, but right.
You can deny this experience. Do you know how?
Okay.
So
kind of like focus on zoning.
Yeah, the way you do it is you drop a ward over here, and then you go right here. What does Vlad do right if you're right here?
He can only like try to. I think he can only E onto me, which I would just walk backwards, and he can't do anything other than that.
Okay, so assuming that you don't push this wave and you wait on your cooldowns, and you don't have these on cooldown, you're standing here. What is a 30% health Vlad going to do to you?
He's gonna call for his jungler. I don't know. That's
right. He's gonna call for his jungler, and that's why you put the ward over here.
Yeah.
What else is he gonna do to you?
He I don't know. He can try to auto me.
Okay, if he autos you, does he win? No. If he Qs you, does he win?
No.
No. He's 30% health.
And I guess if I Q him, I can just, or if he Qs me, then I can Q him back. Basically.
Yeah.
So I can use my health as a resource.
So you see how the only way you lose this is if you push.
Gotcha.
Because if you don't push, how does Vlad sustain?
He can't.
He can't. If you don't push, how does Vlad get the experience and gold?
He can't.
He can't. So you see, like...
Yeah, he can only get like maybe some experience. I don't know, what is the range for experience, per se? I know it's like a pretty big
It's roughly
distance.
A screen. So if we look at this minion, we're going to look at your minion.
Okay.
Experience range is roughly this.
Okay.
That's pretty rough, but I think if he's right here, I think you'll catch experience.
Gotcha. Okay, I just want to like.
Okay.
I knew that was pretty. It was pretty big for the experience. So I might not be able to like deny him experience, but I can deny him the gold from that creep anyway.
No, you can deny him this experience. If you're standing right here.
Oh, then he has to back.
Then he cannot be in that circle, because you will kill him if he's in that circle.
Gotcha.
And this is why mid lane is hard to deny experience, because it's a shorter lane. Now in top lane, if like you can deny so easily, but if you're here, how does he exist in this circle? He doesn't.
The only thing, if I try to,
if you blow your cooldowns, that's the only way he exists in the circle.
Yeah. So like, how does that work then? Like, if I'm zoning and I
you literally just walk right here and you press S.
Press S.
It's okay. Stop character.
Yeah, I know. All right. Yeah. So I don't like actually like try to be like, okay, I'm not gonna like stand there and try to like throw my abilities at him.
No, you literally just stand there.
Okay.
And then if he comes into your range, well then yes, then you can try to hit him.
Gotcha.
But
okay.
If it's like a 10% hit chance, don't waste your abilities, because then he walks in this range, he catches experience, and you literally just stood there for nothing.
Yeah, because once you waste that, once I waste that ability, then he
has pressure. Yeah, maybe honestly, like against this Vlad, I don't know if you had pressure then, because he's so low. Yeah. Because if you miss Q, I think that's the only way he has pressure. But like if you W, you're pushing the wave, so you shouldn't do that. And if you E, well, that's kind of stupid. So you kind of have to Q, but your Q is only a 3-second cooldown. So let's say you Q here, Vlad's here, you miss, you concede pressure for 2 seconds, and now, okay, my Q's about to be back up, so I walk back forward.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And somebody in the chat just said, zoning is like an area where you can deal damage. And people don't want to be hitting that damage, so they can't be in that zone.
All right. Thank you for whoever said that.
So yeah, there's no reason to push here. And this is lane management. This is creep management. This is wave management. This is lane pressure. This is so much thing bundled into one. It's super important. But that like low elo players tend to think, okay, I just need to push 24/7.
Yeah.
That's not the case. And again, how do I know that I shouldn't be pushing here?
You're asking that?
Yeah.
Because yeah, I have a health advantage.
Well, yes. The thing is, it's because I'm thinking. Right? I know. It's like a meme. Like I know I just keep repeating the same thing, but it's because I'm thinking. This is what I can do. This is what they can do. I can kill them. So can they go get this creep? No. Therefore, I'm going to stand forward. And I'm going to ward my bottom side so I'm safe. So that I can do everything I just said.
Okay, yeah, it's true.
And their bottom lane is on bottom. And my top laner just killed their top laner before this. She respawned. So the only person that can mess with me is their jungler. So if I have that ward, their jungler can't mess with me. Because Vlad can't walk into me because he's low health. And my jungler is around me. So I literally just took all that in like half a second when I'm playing, like when I'm actually playing in this scenario. And then I say, okay, this is what I have, this is what I can do.
Gotcha. And you'd be playing on the top side of the map, I'm assuming, if you were playing, but you would still be in a position where you can move up, because Lee Sin is.
I would probably be right where you are right now, but further. So here, or here, in one of these two zones, depending on if I warded this. So if I ward this, I'm here. Why? Because how does lane tend to work? Well, it tends to be a seesaw. So if you're here, where is the enemy mid? They tend to be here.
Yeah.
Okay, so what does this mean? This means that if I walk here, like this, the enemy is probably going to walk like this.
True.
You see how it's like a seesaw, basically?
Yeah, and if I move forward, he moves backwards.
Yeah. Okay, so why would I be here instead of here? Well, my jungler is on this side.
Yeah.
Over here. So if I'm here, he stands over here.
Oh, I see.
Let me change this. So you see how your lane positioning impacts their lane positioning.
Oh, okay.
And this is closer to your jungler.
Forcing them into a position where they don't want to be in.
Yes. Now, conversely, the argument could be made, well, my jungler's topside, so I'm going to play topside.
Yeah.
Either is fine. Both of them are perfectly good arguments. But I think that my argument is better because, like I said, I would ward this bush.
Yeah, you would ward the danger zone, so even though if he's likely to be there, you're likely to see that.
Exactly. So I will know that their jungler is there. So therefore, I'm forcing a position advantageous to me because I got the ward. I know they're there. So I'm okay to do that. But if I don't get the ward there, then I should play with my top side.
Gotcha.
Has he warded yet? No. So you see, like, the way I did all that, thinking. The way I think about all this stuff, make it habit, it becomes habit.
Gotcha.
And just so many small things. And like, see, I just told you that lane seesaw thing, right? Where if I'm positioned on the bottom side, they're probably going to position on the top side. You've probably never thought of that, right? Ever.
No.
Like, there's so many small things in League that you're not going to know unless you watch a higher level play or for some reason you're like a genius. Because nobody's going to think of that. If you're an average player.
Yeah, that's true.
And yeah, make sure you are sticking to the side you warded. So cover your ward side, or play with your jungler. Either way. So I'm gonna continue. Or actually, do you have any points on that? Any questions? Comments?
No, I think. Well, yeah, I understood the gist of it. So I fully understand what you're talking about.
Okay.
And the other thing is, what I'm like, I find this really stupid of me for admitting this, but like I have yet to watch any pro players play Syndra other than like a little bit of like Faker, but like I don't know where I'm getting at, but like when I'm watching, somebody that is playing at a higher elo, say for you, for example, what kind of notes should I be taking through through watching it? Obviously, I'm not watching it for the entertainment. I'm watching it to improve.
So if you're watching a higher elo player who does
Yes.
not interact with chat like I do,
Yeah.
then what you're going to be learning out of them is mainly mechanics and tricks.
Okay.
You're not going to learn why they're positioning where they're positioning because they're not going to say why they're positioning where they're positioning.
Okay.
You're not going to learn why they're basing, when they're basing. I mean, no, they might say, "Oh, now's a good time to back," but they're not going to explain why it's a good time to back, or they might say one of the factors, not the other 100 factors.
Gotcha.
So, you can't learn all these small things by watching higher elo players because you're not going to understand what they're doing and why they're doing it, or you might incorrectly understand it.
Gotcha. Like you'll just make assumptions like, okay,
Exactly.
Faker based at this time, I should base it at
Faker
that
based at 8 minutes, therefore I'm going to base it at 8 minutes every single time.
Yeah, I know. It's like, but he did it for a very specific reason.
But he did it for a very specific purpose that you're not going to know because he had 100 different reasons in his head. Yeah. So if you're watching, like, let's say you're watching Bjergsen, you are going to learn a lot of tricks and stuff. You're going to learn combos. You're going to learn maybe
macro
how fast.
Stuff, I'm not gonna know.
Yeah.
Is basically where you're getting.
You might learn how fast you go. You might learn a trick in a matchup, like I said. But like you're mainly gonna learn tips and tricks of that champion. You're not gonna learn fundamentals of the game by watching a higher elo player unless you interact with them and say, "Why did you do this?" And one of the people who comes in my chat all the time is a Chigo, and he says, "Why did you do that?" And I explain my thought process behind why I did it. Okay. And if you ask those questions to the players, that's how you learn from them.
Gotcha.
But in terms of just watching them, you're at face value, you're going to learn very minimal.
Okay. So I should watch a lot of your streams. Watch your playthroughs.
Yeah, watch the playthroughs. Especially Pobelter's playthroughs, watch those. Yes. If you, okay. I know you've watched those because you've linked them. Those are how you learn from higher level players. You learn from VOD reviews like this. You learn from the playthrough games where I say, I'm going to do this because this. You don't learn from Pants R Dragon getting 27 kills on Elise. You don't learn from that.
Gotcha.
You see how they're just different in content? So if you want to learn, watch a small streamer.
No,
I don't say that because I'm a small streamer. I say that like 100% seriously.
No, I think like nothing's wrong with being a small streamer. I think like smaller streamers that interact with chat is probably a lot better than someone that laughs their ass off because they got ganked 5 times in a row or something like that, and they have X many views. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So I'm gonna continue.
All right.
Actually, one second. Let me read a message really quick. Okay. Okay, then you get all in because you're way too close, and you know.
Again, and I shouldn't even flash there because
don't flash it. You're dead.
I knew I should have died. I was gonna die.
Yeah,
flashing
you're
there
dead.
Just that was just like, oh shit.
And then pop your health potion as well.
I don't think I've ever used my health bots usually effectively.
You have not. Oh, sorry, you have not used your health potions once, like in terms of while fighting.
Yeah, like using them for trading and stuff like that and gaining a small advantage.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see how long you spend in base. Okay, so you could have done all this while you're dead. But instead you spend from 37. You spend 10 seconds in base.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like a big issue, but 10 seconds is you just missed all those melee creeps. Yeah. Right? Like, It's a big issue. That's not a big issue. It's super, super, super easy to fix. You just have to fix it.
Yeah, like how long it takes me to base and stuff, or not base. You know, I mean like how long it take. Like again, I'm pushing the wave. If he's super low, I should have not done that. Especially
Exactly.
if I have an ulti.
Yep. Again, you don't want to. You don't want to shove. Actually,
I think
you
I
could
tried a
shove.
stun combo.
You could shove here. You could not shove. Honestly, at this point, I think it's better to shove and then pressure turret. But like, it's 10 minutes. You don't want to. You don't want to shove in like because you want to. You want to kill him, or let's say you create advantage in lane. You don't want to shove because you want to pressure the lane. I honestly, I think shoving there is fine.
Okay.
I only said it's not okay because I was assuming it was early in the game, but it's 14 minutes.
Yeah.
So I think pressuring the turret is fine. But if you don't have your jungler, you need to stay around your warded side. And your
Yeah,
warded
my
side is
jungler
bottom
just
side.
like went bot side.
Yeah. So you're positioned bot side, but you're not positioned bot side enough. Because see, you're in the center of the lane.
I'm like, yeah, I'm in the middle. So if when the jungler comes,
Yeah. So
then
if
he
you're
just needs to flash on me.
so if you're watching this at, let's assume this is 100%. You're like 55%. My line isn't straight, but you're like 55%. So you should be more like 70%. Again, my lines aren't accurate.
What do you mean 70%? Oh, you mean like in the area?
Yeah. So like
on the bot side.
look where if you divide this into halves,
Yeah, yeah.
right? Like this is roughly half.
Like,
You're at roughly 55% from 0% to 100%.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Gotcha.
You should be probably more like 70%. Because this is your warded side. And if you're 70%, you still pressure the wave, but you get out this way easily. And if you look, this is a 15% difference, roughly, right? Well, it's exactly 70%, but you know what I mean. Okay?
Yeah.
But if you look at his look at Vladimir. Look how it gets to you. If you were 10% further, you don't die there.
Yeah, I wouldn't die there because I could just eat him back and then he can't do anything.
Exactly.
But then because I was like more closer to the middle, he could just flash around top of me and flip me.
Yeah.
And then I can just do things.
And then further, this applies to any jungler with any mobility. You should be QEing like now. Like, see, you wait so long. The earlier you do it...
My E was on cooldown.
Well, right, but like right now it's off cooldown.
Yeah, right now.
And see, you wait, and he flashes on you. If you QE immediately, he can't flash on you. Because the way Syndra stun works is, if you E... Okay, I have to draw this line.
Oh, you're talking about the EQ combo?
No. Okay, so look. Right now. Syndra's stun is bullshit, just so you know. If you Q right here... Okay? So your ball is right here. You Q. This will go on this path. And then you E. If you hit him here, he's hit. Right?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Because I could just place it, even though I don't need to do it at the exact same time I'm hitting my E. But if I'm going in this direction where he has to go in that direction, then if the orb is there, then it's going to hit him, is what you're saying?
Well, what I'm saying is, if you hit him right here, I'm going to draw it in squares. Or I'm going to draw in a different color. If you hit him right here, he will obviously be stunned, right? Because that's how Syndra stun works.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if he flashes right here, he's still going to get hit. Right?
Yeah.
Because your ball's right here. It's going to go on that path. Okay. Now, let's assume a different scenario. Okay? Let's assume that you Q here. Here. And you stun here. And you want to hit him. Do you know what happens if you QE like this? And he flashes to be here?
No.
He still gets stunned. Because Syndra's stun is bullshit. So even though your ball doesn't go through him, it will still stun him.
Oh, really?
Yes. So if you just stun him early, there is a 0% chance you get outplayed. Just so you know.
Oh wow.
So just stun early. Okay, well no, even I see that in that example, there's a slight collision between my two circles, but it won't hit him. Yeah, it's because you knock him into the ball. Is the actual reason, because he gets knocked back and then the ball gets knocked back. Knocked back. That's the reason. But it's still so stupid the way that happens. Okay, so you're 75 at 15. So you're roughly 5.
So I'm like 1 in 5 right now.
Well, no, you're like 5 CS.
Sorry?
You're like 5 CS per minute.
Oh, yes. No, I was talking about my KDA. Sorry.
Okay, so
Holy shit.
he comes back. You don't have any vision on their jungler, so is this safe?
No.
No. You have no flash, you have no barrier. You can't be autoing this turret because you're going to die. Even if you're not going to die, you should assume that you're going to die.
Yeah. Like, I feel like I am the sole reason why I'm losing, because I'm so behind.
You're bottom
I'm
lane
not
lost
behind,
too.
but I'm always in a position where to be ganked as well. So I'm not playing safe.
Yeah, so when you don't have flash, you don't have barrier, it's way too greedy to be autoing this turret.
Yeah.
And you're up here for a long time too. So like, look. You should know that they're both on the map now. Right, like they are on the map because it's been time since you've walked back to base.
Yep.
Now you're going up. You start autoing it at 57. You auto this for a whole 10 seconds before you see anyone on the map. Okay, so how much? You auto this for 12 seconds before you see anyone on the map. That is a lot of time. So you should know you're going to get ganked. Like, after like 5 seconds, I'm like, alright, I'm out. Like, honestly, I probably wouldn't even auto the turret once.
Okay. Would
Like,
you have still tried to shove? Like,
Yeah, I would have shoved.
Okay.
I would have shoved, but like...
But like the time that I took to like take the tower down is probably not like, is way too greedy.
That's so long.
Okay.
Like, because for perspective, it takes... I think it's 35 seconds to get here. Like, to get like central to the map. Okay, well, from blue buff to here, it's like 12 seconds. From red buff to here, it's like 12 seconds. From raptors here, it's like 8 seconds. From here to here, it's like probably 12 seconds as well. But you see, like, basically the jungler could be anywhere on the map. And from the amount of time that you spent in lane, he could be there.
Yeah.
And he should be there because you're a summoner-less control mage.
Yeah.
Cool. So again, that is, again, thinking. Because that's not some like special skill that I just did right there, was it? Like, that's just knowing the game.
Yeah.
That's the secret to high elo. Is people are like, oh, I wanna be the best Zed player there is that 1v1s everyone and outplays and all that, and that's not how you get to high elo. Sure, LL Stylish is a great player. You know, he's super mechanically awesome and all that. But he also knows this basic stuff.
Yeah. Like I honestly always wanted to learn how to play control mages. Not like anything. It doesn't need to be anything like crazy, like advanced control mages, but like just like in general. But I always seem to like do so poorly on them. But I think it's just because of like just looking at this game, like obviously it's not just me playing bad with control. It's just me not like respecting certain timings, warding, CSing, so like multiple things.
Right, yeah, I could literally list everything. I could say you could have done
like,
literally everything better. But to be fair, I could say that for any game, for any player.
yeah.
So, like, obviously take that lightly. Don't take that super harshly.
No, it's fine, dude.
But
Like,
that's the thing between like a low elo player and a high elo player is that low elo players can do everything better, a lot more than high elo players could do everything better. So high elo players can do everything better but less.
but
Does that make
less?
sense? Like
with less
like
errors.
let's say I need you to improve on 100% things by 80%. I need to get 80% better at everything. A high elo player only needs to get like 10% better at everything.
Yeah.
You know,
I
poor
see what you're.
poor numbers. But we all have to get better at the exact same thing. So
it's like black belt or something is what you're saying. Like it's easier to get from like the white belt to the yellow belt to the red belt versus someone with like black belt to like I don't know whatever you want to call it, black belt, whatever. It's like hard to get up to the next level. Is what you're saying.
The key point is though that everybody's working on the same thing.
Yeah.
So I still need to CS better, even though I said your CS sucks. My CS sucks too. My CS just sucks less than your CS sucks.
Yeah.
Also, you just had 3k gold. Why did you just have 3k gold? You're 1 in 4. You should not be holding on to 3k gold.
Okay. That's horrible. So I guess like going back to you asking about the goal. So that would be like when I should be backing. Like how often do you normally back in context?
That depends on the game and on the matchup and on everything. Okay. But just in general,
yeah.
I aim for back timers.
Because I remember when I played like say support for example, like I would back like almost like too much where I'm like okay I'm like backing not like backing like crazy but like I'd back like on like parts rather than a full item. Not saying that you should be backing on a full item, but like and then when I play like not mid lanes, maybe not specifically carry champions, but like yeah when I play like mid lane it's like I back less because I want to farm more, stay in the wave, get XP, and CS and stuff like that.
Okay, so if you back on proper timings, you will not miss much or anything.
Okay.
So what are proper timings? If you get a push, or if they have a freeze, and they're not in lane.
Okay.
Sorry, wait. If they have a slow push to you, not if they have a freeze. Sorry, I said that wrong.
Damn, that Vladimir fucking hates me.
Yeah, okay, so honestly, I don't think there's much left to learn from this game because you're so ridiculously far behind that.
Yeah, no, that's why I basically said on this very specific game, it's like I wanted to focus on mid to early game rather than on like, like a macro aspect of the game where, it's you lose a game because of a Baron or something like that. Right?
Yeah, this game is Fiesta. You're 1 in 5. I think this game is over. You have not warded once, by the way, in 21 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I know that's not the most ideal game, but most of my games are either I destroy somebody like that or I'm like, like in this position where I feel like I can't do anything. Which in this case I technically can't because I'm really behind.
Yeah, the game. If you're 1 in 5 Syndra, game's over. Like. It not necessarily that you're never gonna win a game as 1 in 5 Syndra, but like
but it's just like I can't really carry in my own aspect. Don't like my only other win condition would be just try to stall the game out through like wave clearing.
Yeah, but like
that's harder to do, right? So
yeah, so we talk about base timings because that was something you just mentioned. You want to base when they have a slow push to you and they've backed. Because if that happens, your creeps will die faster than their creeps.
Yeah, someone. Sorry to cut you off. If you were,
you're good.
Someone said that it's always really good to base on a cannon minion wave.
Yes.
Because the cannon minion, even if you lose the cannon minion, it's 50 gold, but it takes so much longer to kill the cannon minion.
Yeah, so for clarity, that is basing while the cannon minion wave is coming.
Okay.
Not while it's
okay.
already in lane.
Not when it's okay. Oh, I see what you're saying. So when you know it's coming, so I have to
Yes. So you should be counting waves, or you should at least counting as soon as you're starting to be paired.
Okay. So not when it's already in lane, like, okay,
Correct.
It's in the lane. Okay.
When it's coming to lane.
Okay.
That's when that is an ideal base time, or at least one of the conditions for an ideal base time.
Okay.
But like, so let's say I'm playing a control mage. In general, so this is not for all matchups, but in general, I'm looking at this and saying, okay, I'm playing Syndra. I want to base on around 900 gold. Or sorry, I want to base at least 900 gold. This is my ideal.
Yeah.
What is less than ideal? Basing at 500 gold.
850 or 500.
Because if I know, I'm actively aiming for things. I'm not saying I'm going to base whenever they're going to let me. I'm saying I want to base on my windows.
Okay.
Okay, so let's say I wanted at 550, not 500. If I base at 550, what can I get? Well, I can get a Doran's and a refillable. Or I can get a Doran's and pink plus a pot.
Can I stop you for a second?
Yeah.
Just so that way this video is still relevant. So next patch, the Doran's rings are going to be unique. So what would be, if this was like, when Doran's rings are unique, what would be the other ideal purchase?
I would probably get Amptome.
Okay.
What
about the other one? The Magi's item, whatever you want to call it, though.
Dark Seal?
Yeah, I'm not saying in this very particular game, but like in general.
No, you don't really get that on control mages.
Okay.
Okay. So on Syndra, what am I aiming for on Syndra? I'm aiming for a base in this window.
Okay.
Because this will get me Lost Chapter plus items.
Yep.
So I'm accordingly spending my mana to get a base on this window.
Yeah.
I'm accordingly trading my health to get a base on this window. I'm keeping this in mind every game I play on a control mage because this is what I want. I need this.
Yep.
Okay. So what does that mean? Well, when I'm at 850 gold, I'm going to spend all my mana to push. I'm going to say, I literally don't give a single crap about you. I'm going, as long as I'm not in kill pressure range, I'm going to spend all of my health and all of my mana to get this wave pushed. Because this wave is pushed into their turret.
Yep.
Then I base. They answer the wave.
He's forced to stay in
He
front
has
of the
to stay. I get an ideal base.
Okay.
Now, what if my jungler is invading? Is this ideal? No, because now I need to help my jungler. So I don't spend all my mana. And I'm thinking about it. Okay, fine. I'm not basing. Because I need to help my jungler. Okay, let's say I'm against Victor. Do I want to base at this point? Yes. Yes. I want to base on exactly this point. Like, exact. Like, no, like, messing around. Why? Because I want to deny his hex core. If I can deny him a 1250 base, I'm happy. Okay, so now I'm playing against Cassio. Do I want to back on this? Maybe not. Because I want to deny her tier.
Gotcha.
So you see how I'm thinking about the matchup? That changes some of these specifics, but like this is in general, like...
Yeah. Like items that she wants or he wants.
Right, you should think about what you want and what they want.
Okay.
So accordingly, you say, okay, I want to push because I want to get this. Or let's say they've already based. And they didn't base at a good time. They based when they have 6+1 minions. I literally, I'm basing right now. Like, I'm just literally pressing base.
Yeah.
Because they have 6+1, which means they're going to push to me. Which means they miss more minions. Because I explained this earlier, and I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce the name. If I look back at lane, this is what's going to happen. I explained it earlier, but you weren't here, Bruce. Look when lane. Okay. So the lane's like this. Right, we're going to assume that this is even and you guys have based. Or rather, we're going to assume that they're pushing to you, so 6 plus 1, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because they have the extra minion, this will push to me. And they will miss this experience. Let's say instead you try to push this way. Well, it's going to take you extra time to clear this extra minion. And the minion will sit here, 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 here. These will all die before they get back. But it's not necessarily the case that all of these will die before they get back. They might not get the gold, but they will get the experience.
Gotcha.
So you see how basing when they have more minions can be actually beneficial to you instead of clearing them?
Yeah.
Because none of these will die. None of them will die. Because they have more minions than you do.
Gotcha. Okay.
Cool.
That makes sense.
So,
yeah, makes
it's like
sense.
setting up your base timers for what you want. So let's say I'm Twisted Fate, right?
Yeah.
Actually, let me change colors because some people have problems reading this color. Let's say I'm Twisted Fate. When does Twisted Fate power spike?
Level 6.
On the map, yeah, level 6. Okay. So he wants to have his gold before level 6. So what does this mean? Well, I want to push level 5. Assuming that I have enough gold, I want to push level 5 in base. And I can come back level 6, have my items, push the lane out. Well, I have an advantage because the enemy hasn't based yet. And then we'll walk bottom and base. And teleport bottom, I mean.
Yeah.
Okay, you see how Twisted Fate's window is different than Syndra's window?
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's look at the lane. Let's say I'm level 5 as Syndra. And I have 800 gold. You would think I'm getting ready to base, right? About. Okay, well, let's say my laner is at 40% health.
Then that changes your
Do I want to base anymore?
Probably not, because you can...
No, not really, because he's in kill range. Why would I want to base? I'm about to be 6. Why do I want to base? I don't. So you see, I can't just say, you want to base at this every single game. It just doesn't work that way. So that's why when you said that example of like, oh, well, fake your bases at 8 minutes. I want to base at 8 minutes every single game.
Yeah, I just said that as a rough example. But you
right. No, it was a good example because it showed exactly that of like, just because a high level player did it doesn't mean you should mimic it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
All right.
So base timers, does that kind of help you on that?
Yes.
Cool. Do you have any other questions?
You covered every single possible question throughout this entire game. I guess the only other one would be, I know a rough idea about roaming. I kind of struggle on that aspect. Not when to roam, but like I have a rough idea. Like, okay, I should roam when I shove the wave in, so he has to farm, and he doesn't know where I am, assuming that there's no ward in the lane, that I can, roam somewhere and he doesn't know where I am, technically speaking. Is there any other things other than that, other than just like the push and roam?
Yeah, so if you're Talia,
Yes.
do you necessarily push and roam? You don't have to, is the answer. Because you can impact the lane quickly.
You're saying because you're ulti, you can get to the enemy lane fast.
Yeah. So let's say you push the lane. Or rather, let's say you get a push in the lane. So let's say you kill their melee minions. You've already soaked up a bulk of the experience of the lane. And now you see it's free bottom lane. They're pushing. Okay, well, so literally, if you just walk bottom, they know you're walking bottom, but you're pressuring them. So that means Vlad is going to walk with you.
Yeah.
And now Vlad, like, the wave's in a shitty position for you to roam, but if you pressure their bottom lane, they might not always respect it, and then you might kill them.
Okay.
And if you can kill them, that's way better than collecting 6 creeps in mid lane.
Gotcha.
So
I always think like,
go ahead.
sorry, I always kind of like think that if the enemy in the mid laner, if he sees that I'm going to X lane, then he will alert the enemy laners, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, he will do that. But just because he pings them doesn't mean he's going to respond to them.
Gotcha.
And just because they respond to you doesn't mean you didn't create pressure. So let's say you respond to that. They respond to you. Well, now they just lost wave control, so your bottom lane can freeze on them and create a zone.
Okay.
So just because you're not seeing direct benefit doesn't mean it's not directly benefiting them.
Okay.
Again, not to say that is an ideal roam time, because that's actually one of the lower tier roams. But there's multiple times of roams. You don't just have to shove. So let's say you shove in base, and then they counter base. You can literally just walk straight bottom, because you're only going to miss one minion wave. One minion wave, like, it sucks to miss it, but like, if you get 2 kills bottom, what is one minion wave?
Gotcha.
Because you get 2 kills bottom, you collect that minion experience down bottom, and you get their bot turret. That's way better than one minion wave mid lane.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, all right, that makes. I know it sounds kind of silly, but it's kind of like, yeah, it kind of like makes sense now, because it's like, okay, even though you can get small amounts of gold, small amounts of experience and stuff, you're not really creating advantage if you're not using it.
Yeah, and I mean, it is a risky scenario, because let's say you go bottom, you get nothing. Well, you miss 6 creeps and 6 creeps experience. That sucks.
Yeah.
But if you roam on intelligent times, the likelihood of you missing 6 creeps without getting anything is very low.
Okay.
So, like, when's a good time then? Okay, well, if their bottom lane is pushed up all the way to my turret, that's a good time. If their bottom lane is pushed all the way into their turret, that's a good time. You can dive them.
Yeah.
If their bottom lane is full health, my bottom lane is 40% health, is that necessarily a good time?
No.
No, that's a higher risk time. So you're taking a risk by roaming then.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, you're taking a higher risk. You're taking a risk at any point.
Like, you could still work, but like there's more chances of them to, even though if they die, for example, maybe their bot laner gets a kill on your AD carry, and then your AD carry misses golden experience because he came at a bad time. Is that what you mean?
Yep. So just look at risk and look at reward.
Gotcha.
And then weigh it out. Like, even if you just quickly lay it out. Like, see, I didn't even write anything, but I can see, okay, there's 4 points, there's 5 points, maybe it's not worth the risk. Or rather, sorry, there's 5 points on reward, okay, it's worth the reward. And the only way you're going to know is by making this mistake. So let's say you choose the risky scenario, and it's wrong. Well, you just learned why it was wrong. If you look at if you look at it objectively, if you don't just say, wow, GG, my Janna missed tornado, or wow, my Draven inted, or whatever. Yeah. Let's say their jungler counter ganks you. You say, okay, maybe that wasn't the correct time because I had no information on their jungler. You just made a risky play, and you learned why that risky play is risky. So maybe next time you factor more into it. Wait, we haven't seen their jungler in 3 minutes. We don't know where he is.
All right.
So maybe it's not a good play anymore.
All right. So kind of like push my limits is what you're saying.
Yeah, you don't learn if you play Vygar AFK farm every game, you don't learn
anything. Yeah.
I mean, you learn stuff, but you don't learn that.
You don't. Yeah. I kind of
like okay. The average scrim time for a pro team is 20 minutes. You know that?
No.
Do you know why that is?
Yes.
Because they're just trying to learn.
They're just trying to like practice very specific things, and once they kind of get that, or they need to do it again, they do it again.
Well, yeah. So,
right?
so
like grinding things down.
They're gonna pick Talia, and they're just gonna roam, and they're gonna say, when can I roam? Why can I roam? And then they learn when and why they can roam. They're gonna pick Elise jungle, and they're gonna invade the enemy jungle and flash, and they're gonna say, yeah, I'm flashing after this guy. I want to get this kill. I want to snowball my team. Because if they lose, it doesn't matter. Like, literally, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but it's just a scrim. It's just like a practice game.
But they're just looking at it to learn.
Yes.
And if you do that same thing, now I'm not saying you should flash turret dive for no reason. Obviously, be intelligent. Yes. But if you look at it as this is a practice game where I'm trying to learn something, and you push your limits, you will learn something. and you will get better because you learned that something.
Gotcha.
Cool. So any other questions?
No, honestly, I honestly really appreciate you taking the time to teach me like basically everything I need to know to fucking get to platinum. Probably if I actually like put in 100%, if not more.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you can get to D5 knowing the basics of the game.
Yeah.
And I would argue it actually requires higher than D5. Or sorry, you would get higher if you knew every single basic about the game. I would argue you would be challenger. But like understanding most of the basics, you can get to D5.
Gotcha.
That's with like literally almost zero mechanical skill.
Okay,
Because
so I don't need to play Zed or Yasuo.
yeah,
No,
exactly.
I don't play those champions. I'm just joking with you, but
yeah, you can have absolutely terrible mechanics and get to a higher rank than you currently are.
okay.
Cool. So I'm gonna end this VOD.